after we talk to him, we get a chance to kind of our takeaway of his big takes. His big take last night, I think one of them was, hey, Wemby stepping in there and shooting that in overtime, down 3, 20, 30 seconds left or whatever in the biggest moment is something that I think you said you would have expected maybe. It's all the other shit that maybe is the thing that he had to work on. Always been a great shooter. I think people forget that. And this is just a moment to showcase that. What's your takeaway of how Wemby performed last night in this moment in particular?
Man, it was just fun to watch, to tell you the truth. And to know him and the situation and the moment. Vic is a great shooter. Last year, he shot a lot of threes. But now you just get a chance to see the evolution of his game. He goes inside out, the way he plays, and that's just trust. First of all, he kicked it ahead to Steph Castle. Steph kicked it back to him, and Vic likes those moments.
Yeah, okay, so when he passes that back, he thinks he's shooting that right there?
Absolutely.
Oh,
he didn't even think about it.
Okay, so everybody on the floor knew that Wemby was pulling that up right there, you think?
Yes. Especially for the Spurs. Everybody knew he was shooting it.
Oh, that is awesome. Okay, to have that fortitude, I will say. I think a lot of people in this generation quickly judge, especially somebody when one of their first interviews we hear from him saying, Universe and I, we kind of see things the same way, and he's out there with monks, and I don't like it. Big night for French-speaking folks, I will say, but he's also French, so I think there's a natural thing that kind of comes alongside of that. Hoopers and the way basketball is kind of evolving. I think a lot of people can kind of get lost and not really know that this guy's a certified killer, right? Always been that way, Chris? Is that kind of the thing that separates him as opposed to just being a 7'5", incredibly athletic guy? In between the years, this guy is a monster, right? I think that's what we need to talk about.
Yeah, he works at it. So the things that he's one of those guys that if you tell him he's not that good at something, he's gonna go put the work in on it and get better at it. So if that was his physicality, right? Because obviously you come into the league, everybody talked about how light he was, and people sort of push him here and there. But he's 7'5". He got a lot stronger, right? He used to play with his back to the basket a lot, and he still does. But this play right here that they keep showing was so dope, and all I could think about was Greg Popovich when I first got to San Antonio last year. And Pop would just always be on Vic about facing up first, triple threat, right? And you see how the game is just evolved, and it just comes so easy to him now.
Yeah, so he's a hard worker. Do you think watching SGA get the trophy last night was obviously something that he thought about? Maybe the Chet story was seemingly something that was brewing online, and then they were showing throwback clips in the algo. The algo was showing me a 17-year-old Wemby taking on, I don't know, maybe a 17-year-old Chet Holmgren as well. If these two have been looking each other in the eye since they're kids, it seems like that is actually the case. How much of that do you think fed into what last night was? And I want to let you know, if you get a chance to chat with him, let him know that I think I respect how big of a petty, competitive dog he is. That I knew last night he was going to go absolutely crazy, and I bet on it, and I won a lot of money. And the crown is seemingly starting to come my way.
Yeah.
The crown is seemingly, I'm starting. Ronda Rousey, no problem. I think this is what I'm going to start doing. I'm betting on dogs only, okay? I need to know that they're absolute dogs. That felt like a moment for him to hey, yeah, right. This, a lot of buildup, it felt like, for Wemby. Obviously, to materialize all that and to execute is one thing, but I think that fed him. Isn't that kind of like his competitive fire or personality trait that I don't think we're all kind of learning about in real time?
Yeah, I think so. It was a cool interview that Vic did earlier in the season, and he was talking about how he shows his emotions. Like, he don't want to carry the burden of having to show his emotions. And I think he does a great job of that. He's hooping, he's having fun, and he's going to tell you. He's sort of going to show you. Anybody who loves this game, because you see some teams, when there's an MVP ceremony, some teams go to the locker room. Some teams are not out there when it happens because they don't want to be a part of it. But Vic, somebody tell you, I saw the video like everybody else. He didn't look or whatnot, but of course he understands the moment, and he's somebody that's always finding little things to push you.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch. He's going to play for what, another 20 years? We looked this up. Okay, we looked this up as people that are kind of outsiders of the NBA world. Feels like all the GOAT conversations that happen, like you played 21 years. We thought you had 22, but just basic ass 21 years.
21 might be up for question too, but that's neither here nor there.
All right, so we'll say how many would you like to, how many meaty years would
You
you
know,
like?
man, 21, man. We good.
All right, 20 real, 21 ethical. No, I'm not doing that.
15
That's
good
very real.
years.
I'm not getting into that.
Yep.
But obviously, that is a real thing in basketball. It feels like you have to play a very long time. You have to give a long time to the league. You have to be great for a very long time. Him at 7'5", it's hard to imagine that size of a body being able to. I think Jordan was like 15 years, two of them at Washington, 13. He was by far the least. I mean, LeBron, you go through them all, Kareem, they all played forever. Like everybody like kind of plays forever. That's a part of the hooping lore, I think, during the conversation. 7'5", he works on everything. I think that's going to be a marvel if he's able to maintain. Actually, just from what we understand about humans.
I haven't seen it.
Ever. It's like that would be a crazy thing if he was able to last long, which it seems like all the GOATs of basketball are able to do, Chris. That would just be a crazy thing for us to watch.
I'm honestly not worried about Vic lasting, right, playing for a long time in the league, because his preparation, the way he works, the way he trains, all the little details, he's that competitive. Like I told you, like when I got there, whether it's ping pong, whether it's chess, whether it's just shooting games after practice, and he's like a student of the game. Like he watches everything constantly, and it's kind of crazy to see it all come together. Because I remember I went to go watch him play before he came to the NBA, and he was 7'5" wing player. And he just keeps learning things throughout the years. And if you watch down the stretch of that game, the lives that Vic caught when Caruso was guarding him, those are plays that he didn't used to do. He was just always on the perimeter. But now he realized that he can score in so many different ways.
So hopefully he only gets better somehow. We're lucky to be a part of this. However long this run is, Mr. Vic Wemby. Do you call him Vic? We all call him Wemby. I think we'll stick with Wemby. If we meet him, bonjour Vic, je m'appelle Pat, fantastique. We'll certainly do that. But it is crazy that he's already being talked about as this is the next generation of the NBA. It's a lot of weight. I feel like he's ready for the world of it. But he's playing against a guy who's already a back-to-back MVP. It's very abnormal. Go ahead, D-Bud.
Yeah, Chris, and I'm assuming this is one of your three as well. But SGA struggled in the first half, struggled down the stretch to really get going like we used to see him get going. Had 12 assists, only 4 turnovers, so I feel like he was pretty efficient there. What type of adjustments do you think SGA will make, going into the next game?
Man, I think one of the things that we talked about too, Pat, was just the coaching. Like both teams are coaching really well. Obviously, Shea struggled or whatnot to score, but they've been here. They battle tested. They won the championship. They lost last year to Denver, I think, game 1. So they'll go watch film and regroup. But Shea's seeing a double team every time he come down the court. He's gonna see that every single game. They loading up. They trying to make the other guys make shots, i.e. Caruso having 30 or something like that, but you're going to try to figure it out.
Okay, so this was what we talked about with the Lakers too, right? This JJ Redick was like being not dramatic. You didn't say dramatic, but like overdoing it maybe or something like that. He was not going to let the game wrecker wreck the game. We have that in football as well. That is just kind of standard operating procedure amongst most winning organizations. Like, hey, we got to try to make them play left-handed. We got to get rid of their best player. SGA is obviously back-to-back MVP because he has been relatively successful against everybody. What was it, like 20 straight years of at least 20 points or whatever? How come it's different with some teams? Is it the Wemby factor? That, because they have had success against Oklahoma City all year. And has SGA gotten the same treatment from every team? Like, how do you think and follow up, another one, if you want to explain this situation, are they picking and choosing who's open whenever they bring somebody? Because that kind of happens in football. We got to rob Peter to pay Paul somewhere. So somebody, like, how do you think that all comes together with SGA being able to respond? And what do they do in the next game, you think, to Oklahoma City?
All right, bet you asked about 6 questions right there, Pat. But we'll start.
Okay.
Listen, so in the NBA, we have hot guys and cold guys, right? So hot guys, you actually don't help off of them as much. Cold guys, you full body help. But out here in this game, no disrespect to a lot of these coaches in the league, but a lot of these coaches want to see how the game starts. And then they let the main guy get 20, 25 points. Then they be like, okay, we're going to get the ball out of his hands. right? Like the elite teams and the really great coaches, as you can see, they be like, no, we're just not even going to let this guy get going. So when Shea comes down the court, if you watch, look at the wall that they're building every single time down. Every single time down, their whole mindset is to not look. They load it up. They load it up. They just trying to make them see a wall. Shea done seen every coverage you could possibly see, but look at where Vic is right there. Look at that. That's hard. That's hard to play against. But like I said, he's seen it before, and it's up to your teammates to make shots.
Okay, and we had the other guys stat against the Lakers. The other guys on the Thunder went crazy, so obviously they were able to win while Shea was still getting double teamed or eliminated or whatever. And I think against the Spurs on Christmas, I think Caruso did not have a great shooting day, and then last night has a phenomenal shooting night. And it's like, hold the phone now. Now, will they continue to leave Caruso open? Because it feels like they do decide, like SGA has to find the open person, right? That is what he's doing. Caruso had a lot of good looks, and I think SGA had to make that decision in real time. Does he know who they're going to let free? How does he know? Just from playing, or is there like an indication that this is how they're going to play the entire game? We in the NFL have a first 15 where coaches are trying to see how they'll line up against different formations that they want to use. Okay, so first 15 want to be successful, but we want to see what the defense is doing against our shit, and then we're going to make adjustments of that after that. It's like a known thing in football. Same thing happening for SGA here whenever he takes on the Spurs at the beginning of the game, or how do you guys figure that all out?
Well, you figure it out because it's usually pretty consistent throughout the season. The guys who shoot it better than others, and there's guys that don't. Right, so probably most games, depending on who's on the court, like if Jared McCain's on the court and Caruso, they're definitely going to leave Caruso open more than Jared McCain. So you're trying to figure that out on the fly as you go, but it's like clockwork for sure. He knows he's going to see all these extra bodies when he get into the paint, and you just got to try to make the right decision. And then you also got to figure out when to be just a little bit more selfish on some plays.
Okay. That's whenever he just decides to take over. He did a couple times, took it to the rack. And how long he held on to it before letting it touch the backboard, because Wemby is like right behind him. You could just like feel him like get there.
Shea dunked one last night. He drove the lane and dunked it. He'll never dunk. But that's because he knew that Vic was over there. That Vic that one right there. He'll never dunk. But he had to because Vic was right there.
I'm not going to let this ball even come close to getting volleyballed out of here, which he was certainly doing.
Exactly.
The Wemby dunk in between Chet and SGA.
That was awesome.
First of all, shout out to SGA going up. I mean, he's up there. Those are two. Those are two aliens.
Great tweet.
And SGA's right up in there. I mean, that was.
He ain't doing nothing up there.
Crazy.
All right, your last one that we thought had to be obviously mentioned that you were talking about. You already mentioned it, kind of the coaching masterclass. Can you tell me about this a little bit about what we watched? I love the game. It looked like both teams were making adjustments. Both teams were answering and responding. Obviously, the players do their thing. The coaching, though, I think a lot of us maybe just thought it was good, didn't really understand why it was good. Why was last night such a high level of basketball, you think, Chris?
First of all, the way these two teams play. It's just the coaching that gives them the confidence to play free. Like a kid like Dylan Harper, you don't come in as a rookie and make those different type plays if you're not being coached and motivated to just go play free and not worry about making mistakes. Obviously, Mark in OKC has those guys playing like that night in and night out. But playing for San Antonio last year and getting a chance to see the preparation that goes in every single day, right? Like Mike in there with the guys at 8, 9 a.m. before practice, going on all the ball movement and all this stuff like that. It's really dope to see it all come together. I was watching the end of game plays that they were running, the out of bounds play right here. So if you watch Steph Castle, this is the funnest part for me in basketball and all, is to watch the plays and the execution. So Steph Castle screens, and then he comes over here to Devin Vassell, and this is a slip out, right? He's going like he's getting champ, and he slips out. He's wide open, right? But it's also great coaching by OKC because they got Chet on the ball, and it's just timing. Dylan Harper can't see the basket.
So the inbound couldn't see that he was wide ass open, so he threw it short instead of far side. He throws that far side. That's probably tip in, 0.7 seconds. Holy hell, we just ran a design play for this exact moment, executed, won the game.
Yeah, and a lot of games come down to these situations, and some of the best coaches that I played for, at the end of practice, yeah, look at that. You can't see nothing. And Dylan Harper is a tall guard, so imagine me when I used to have to do this.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, come on, coach, I don't see nothing.
To the legs.
You got to do a lot of no look, huh? A lot of no look out of you, I assume. We're
Yeah. You gotta pass it with the grace of God. You just better hope.
All right, let's talk about tonight as we hit the top three. Your thoughts on the East and how this thing's going to go. The Garden